Okay, so let's get started. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everywhere in the some countries in Asia, in Europe, and also North America. So I'm based in New York City. This is actually second day of World Smart Cities joined together with XnTREE Open Tech Week. So we have a guest and also judge from Liechtenstein and Vietnam. Also, we have other judges coming from different places. So let me introduce Celine from Liechtenstein. Can you actually introduce yourself, please?
Yes, hi. I just want to mention a few words about myself. So thank you for inviting me to join the judges of panels. Probably why am I so interested in tech? I'm actually a venture capital investor myself, currently being based out of Liechtenstein. I head up the philanthropy and impact space at VP Bank. It's a Liechtenstein private bank. Hence, there's always the requests also from interested investors within my network. And I'm delighted to hear what innovations are out there that together we can make the place a better world, as I always like to say. So I'm very curious, and good luck, little startups, for your presentations.
Thank you, Celine. Selena, can you introduce yourself, please? You're muted, I'm sorry.
So good evening from Saigon. Thank you, Peter, for inviting me here, be a judge of this afternoon pitchings. And my name is Selena from WSEP. I'm a founder and CEO. And so we focus on high technology to tackle climate and environment solution. And happy to see all of you today, and good luck for all the team. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you. So we have actually 5 startups actually pitching for today. Yesterday we had 3, and also we had the renowned speakers from EU Tech Chamber from Europe, and also the EU government. And then it was actually exciting moments that we actually share some insights with them, and also the very interesting startups pitching themselves in terms of the solutions and the technologies and services. So let me just take a little few minutes and to explain, the audience and the people here in this Zoom link, that what we are doing right now and what's the purpose of the smart cities in Hanoi. Why are we just trying to bring up the innovation ecosystem into the smart city projects? So I'll share with you about, the presentation deck, then I'll actually spend 4 to 10 minutes to do it. Okay. So Hoan Kiem Smart City, which is actually Hanoi. So we targeted on one of the major districts. It's actually center of Hanoi, which is called Hoan Kiem. So some of you might actually remember the moments that Donald Trump, was a former president of the United States, and the leadership of North Korea, they actually had a summit talk in Hanoi back in 2018. So it was actually taking place in the Hoan Kiem area. So we had a mandate agreement together between our organization, which is World Smart Cities Forum, also the London, the UK-based nonprofit organization, and Hoan Kiem City Council, of the Hanoi city government, based on the mutual agreement to develop the smart city projects in Hanoi. We kicked off this project since last year. And this is actually generally based on the kind of terms of the agreements. So our philosophy is very simple thing about people-centric city kind of concept, because it's trying to making the city much more sustainable and resilient, and also bringing up the more activities by the stakeholders of the cities. And also the major 4 components are a very simple thing about the data-driven economy, and also the environmental friendly ecosystem, and technology and innovation, and connecting the global cities. And those are the major concepts that we are trying to do. Smart city requires basic, I mean, the most important concept or themes to be started with. I think that, you know, due to the limited resources of the cities, it's really, really difficult to bring up all the resources at a time, because, you know, we need some finance, we needed more human resources. We also have the infrastructure components and from the cities. So the city-wise, and also we try to help the Hanoi city government to how to prioritize the things. So we defined mobility and water, and also digital transformation, energy efficiencies, and safety living kind of concept, bring up with the basic one as the, you know, the major themes and to be started in the next 5 years. And this is Hoan Kiem district. It's, you know, it's actually the first district of Hanoi is actually surrounded by rivers and also lake. And even though the population in this area is only 400,000 people living in here, but you know, the people already experienced be there. They already know that this area is really cool place, because you know, most of the foreign visitors and travelers, they actually have to stay there for the first 2 days or something. So this, I think the annual visitors as travelers and business people, they visit this area more than 2 million people annually. So this is the actual combination of course, the lake is in the middle of it. You can see a lot of commercial buildings. Also, you can see a lot of the boutique hotels or the 5-star hotels really packed up in this area. So you can see the kind of mutual and the combined atmosphere of the history of historical places of Vietnam, and also you know, many different activities there. So it's a really cool places to visit. And this is the, you know, starting point for us to develop smart city initiatives in Vietnam first. And so smart tech city is kind of concept that we brought from the UK, London Tech City Initiative back in 2013. And also now it's becoming more like kind of national, you know, national programs. It's called the UK Tech Nations Initiatives. So we're trying to bring some kind of concept of the tech sandbox where we can open to more tech companies and from international as well as domestic. And we just going through the validation and kind of throughout the core programs, and we just pick up the one of the best one as the winning bidder out of it. So each year we go through this core programs and we select between 40 to maybe 60 companies as a winner. So the candidates might be maybe 5 times more, which is almost 200 companies will be involved in this one. And open factory kind of concept, because the Vietnamese economic growth rate is 7% annually. So it's a really high level if you compare to other countries around the world. So the manufacturing side is actually becoming more and more. I think that probably within a decade, Vietnam could be one of the most important country in the world in terms of manufacturing and, you know, infrastructures of the factory sites. So we are still interested in making the kind of this industries much more smarter. So smart factory and the intelligent factory kind of concept should be embedded throughout the smart city initiatives. And smart digital city, every cities around the world, every countries around the world, they're talking about, just hang on a second. We have more people coming in, all right. So let me see. Yeah. So most of these cities and countries around the world, they doing smart city digital transformation. So digital transformation is kind of fundamental keys based on data. So you will never imagine how the world will be becoming as, like, you know, because we already experienced 10 years ago, 15 years ago, the first iPhone 1 introduced by Steve Jobs. So that is actually the first initial digital transformation. And then we actually just, going into more the era of the digital transformation. So AR, VR market will be almost like more than 100, maybe $1,000 billion in the market around the world. So a lot of people actually expect, every business and industry will actually working together with a digital transformation. So I think that this kind of webinar is one part of the digital transformation, because during pandemic. So there's a good side and bad side of the pandemic, but this is could be maybe one, good side of the, this, COVID-19 period of time. Smart city is also requires a people-oriented smart city design. So design kind of concept is very important as well. But we try to make the city design much more environmental friendly. And distinctive urban design is very important too, because smart city cannot be the same. Just like the fingerprints of everyone has. I think that will be a different, and each city has to have a very unique design of the city, can be much more practical, and also define themselves as something different. R&D could be transforming into commercialization. So each one of the projects, we actually dealing with the software and hardware and infrastructure. And some of them might be going through the R&D process. So we encourage the companies, academia, and R&D centers to be collaborating together to produce one very decent technologies or solutions out of it. So R&D plug-in city kind of concept is also, has a meaningful impact on the kind of development of the ecosystem of the industries and technologies. And regulation-free zone, I think that depends on the governance systems and every country has. I think most of the technology solutions we're dealing with is highly regulated by the central government. But this zone for smart city could be, specialized or maybe protected by the law. So the lawmakers also involved in this one. Then we're trying to make the, some sort of the deregulation zone. And for every startups or maybe tech companies can do something initially or freely. So we're trying to demonstrate and throughout these programs, and also technical complement development and completion, kind of the cycles we can actually bring up together into these programs. And global expansion is one of the key goals eventually. So this is, I think that is one of the important components out of it. Open big data city, the data market kind of concepts is also highly required, because once you have the data, which means you can bring up with more, chances and opportunities for developing the cities much more sustainable. And also we have to create some kind of future jobs in it. Then the data is highly appreciated in many aspects. And other things about the themes, also the city experience innovation technology. So throughout the Hanoi Smart City programs, we just go through the water environments. Not only water, we also interested in building up the better environmental infrastructures in Hanoi. Just hang on a second. I think there's someone has. Just hang on a second. Somebody's. All right. Good. So water and, for example, someone actually not muted here. Okay. And sewage system is one of them. and also the the waste management is also the one of the components to be changed in a way to make the city much more environmental friendly ecosystem. And mobility and security, energy, and also life and culture are one of the agenda, and then we have to develop it much more interesting way. So finally, we have interest in making the city much more connected. So the Hanoi City Smart City will be connected with other cities to be collaborating each other, because one smart city kind of concept cannot achieve many things at a time. So in order to make the city initiatives much more, scalable, then we need more collaborations, and we try to find out the kind of mutual interest between the city projects. For example, we are looking for some of the smart city initiatives from European side, and also the North America, and probably other cities in Asia as well. And smart water city and city specializing eco-friendly water. The reason why I focus on water, because a very simple thing, because Hanoi is located surrounded by water, a river and lake. So the utilizing water in a way of how to drink it, clean water, or utilizing water much more different purposes. Those kind of concept is very important as well. And we also feel like the smart city can be visible or non-visible. I think that maybe 70% of the components of smart city cannot be visible, which means like only 20-30% will be visible. So we're trying to make something unique and people can realize this is one of the smart city components. So for example, about 3 million, 4 million scooters, so, they're running around the city in Hanoi. Most of them actually run by gasoline and diesel. So we're trying to make this system into electricity version. So we need more time, but the next 5 years, which is by the end of 2026, we're trying to create some sort of the KPIs. For example, 20% of the entire number of the scooters running around the city in Hanoi will be, changed into electricity version. But electricity cars or scooters is not the only one. We're trying to build up the ecosystem to support the system. For example, EV charging station or sensors or maybe securities, and you need lots of different kind of things to support this infrastructure. And we also think about how to just deal with the protect the people from pandemic, for example, COVID-19, or maybe a future disease and pandemic things maybe probably hit around the world. City can protect the citizens from those unexpected disease out there. And smart energy, we need to just make the energy much more efficient and effective. Then smart energy infrastructure is also required. I think this one will be developed as one big or meaningful infrastructure, or maybe something visible. Smart finance, like fintech, I think that only 5%, maybe less, or between maybe 5% of the people living in Vietnam, which is 100 million people in Vietnam, they spend credit cards. So very low rates, the percentile of people using credit cards. So this is actually highly recommended to use kind of digital finance, like throughout the fintech kind of concept. That is something that we can actually build up together as well. And XnTREE Open Tech Week is one of the components of the Smart City Tech Sandbox. So Smart City Tech Sandbox can establish the program and solving the problems and foster the startups and R&Ds and validating those the technologies and solution services in the end. So we're actually anticipating about between 100 and 200 companies be a part of candidates, and about 30% out of them that will be selected by Smart City Tech Sandbox. And there'll be the winning tender out of it. So we just go through the 5 different core programs from this year. So until 2026, we hope to find more than 200 companies as winners. So each winners will actually just have the direct contract with the SPC, which is Special Purpose Corporation, as well as city government to sign the contract. They can be involved with the building of the smart city as one of the stakeholders. And this site, XnTREE.co, is official website to nurture the startups internationally as well as domestic Vietnam. So we invite companies. So the invitees are actually eligible to pitch themselves throughout Open Tech Week. Open Tech Week is bi-weekly basis. So we target about 500 startups will be pitching by the end of September of this year. And probably after September until the end of January 2022, the final candidates will be actually competing each other. They have at least 4 or 5 times the chances to be pitching in front of the city, bureaucrats, and also the judging group to be defined and also evaluated. And also winners have a chances to win this kind of chunk of the scale-up funds or investments between seed and the Series B or D level. And I'm gonna skip this one. So we already started, and so I think that maybe we are digging more local startups. We're focusing on Vietnamese local startups this month. So the startups for today, most of them, they come from Vietnam. So I hope that you just maybe it's a good time for you to understand the Vietnamese ecosystem, get to know much better with the startups from Vietnam. Then hopefully we can actually find the better high potential startups out of this XnTREE Open Tech Week. Thank you very much. And I'll just stop this one. And Denise, are you here? Denise? Okay, so we have Hilton. Okay, so I think that they are off from desk at the moment. Selena, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Selena, are you here too, right?
Yes.
So, okay, Denise. Denise? Okay, just got in. So I think that we just start with the presentations by the startups from now on. So we have the companies from Dot Bike. So who's Dot Bike here?
Yeah, it's me. Yeah, it's me.
Okay, so you're up first, and BUSMAP.
Yes, we are online already.
Okay, wonderful. And Modmo, MODMO.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so you're up right now. Tickle is here. Is Tickle? Rightel? Okay, we'll see about that. All right, Denise, if you're actually ready, I think I just better ask you to speak about yourself and your. Okay, you're there.
Yeah,
I'm looking for you. Okay, so can you?
Sorry,
just...
I was just I just did a small comfort break. So hello everyone, very nice to meet you. I've been in meetings since 7 a.m. So
I know it's really hectic. So I'd like to actually just to speak about yourself and also what the Studium is about, and Cities ABC Summit and Awards next week, and something that you're trying to address to share with the startups and other judges for today.
Yeah, completely. So we actually, there was a PR that was speaking major mainstream publications. So I probably will read a bit of the PR. I think it speaks for itself. So my name is Dinesh Guarda. I'm a serial entrepreneur, author, and a researcher as well. I've been working between the areas of innovation, creative industries, and cities, and as well very focused and passionate about smart cities, innovation for social impact, and things that actually can create real areas of change. And I've been working in the last couple of years. I think probably I have quite a big profile as well on YouTube. I've been creating a recently YouTube channel and podcast series that have been growing quite fast. We have right now over 5 million views. And as well, we've been working as well with the likes of governments and organizations around the world. And in terms of my research, I've been working in the areas of artificial intelligence, blockchain, smart cities, fintech, which are 4 of the areas that I've been doing books and research. I have a book, 4ER, that is about reinventing nations, that was used by the government of Malaysia to create a frame for the country. About the platforms that I created with the group Studium, that owns citiesabc.com. That is our biggest platform, and together with openbusinesscouncil.org. These 2 platforms were created to solve problems related with social impact and challenges that we're facing, like Peter mentioned before about digital transformation. One of the things we've been finding is that governments, business, and professionals are struggling with digital transformation. In some cases, it's actually painful to see the lack of digital transformation, the lack of attention to data. For instance, the one example is that we work with a country that we were actually working and building a software for the country, and at a certain point we were offered that we could actually have a percentage of the revenues of sales of most of the financial operations in the country if we would build the digital infrastructure for the country. So this just shows that even a small startup can actually own the entire data of a country. If we would have done that, we would have owned most of the data. But it shows as well the needs of looking at this and creating solutions. So we've been partnering with Peter and the World Smart Cities Forum because we believe that not only we need to build the frame and intelligence for this, but we need as well to create better platforms. So the Cities ABC platform was created to create a platform that enhances cities' digital transformation and creates a global marketplace that highlights areas of smart cities technology, creating smarter cities, not just about the technology part, but about using the tools properly. And at the moment, actually, I will announce premium here to everyone. We're launching the first NFTs marketplace for cities worldwide. It's going to be launched actually after the event next week. That is going to be offering NFT solutions for artists, creatives, and creative industries and cities as well. For instance, imagine a city that wants to create an NFT to create crowdfunding for an hospital, or create a crowdfunding solution, so you can actually join forces with an artist and create solutions on that area, but as well to promote artists that are facing a lot of challenges and creators in general. So the event next week that we're doing in partnership with World Smart Cities Forum is precisely created Open Business Council Cities ABC Summit. And we created because we were approached by a couple of governments, institutions, and alikes, asking us, can you create some workshops or masterclasses to teach people about the challenge with digital, to even just understand what is blockchain, what is a smart city, or even what is artificial intelligence, how can we apply this, or what is digital twins, and so forth. And we decided, okay, let's put this in a event that actually can celebrate these things and can actually create more solutions for people. So we're very excited about that. We have 120 speakers from all over the world. Sorry? Okay. So just as a wrap up of the event, so the event comprehends 120 speakers, including former NASA astronaut Scott Parzynski, Bollywood actor Javed Jafred, which is one of the most well-known actors in India and in the Bollywood ecosystem, that join the Global Digital Transformation Open Business Council Cities ABC in partnership with World Smart Cities Forum, that Peter as well is a curator or co-curator. And the idea of the summit is highlight solutions for cities, for governments, for organizations to cope better with the COVID-19 business technology challenges, but as well look at this in a way that can actually demystify creating solutions. And we have as well personalities like Valery Yonan, the Deputy Prime Minister of Digital Transformation of Ukraine, Ben Gorsel, the founder of Singularity and co-creator of Sophia the Robot, and as well one of the biggest AI minds in the planet. Dimitri Psarakis, was the person that wrote for the European Union most of the documentation around digital finance legislation and technology and blockchain. And he's actually creating the Brussels Council, that is a platform to promote Europe worldwide, and we are involved with him as well. Then Michael Stanley Jones, the United Nations Environmental Program, and as well the one that created the United Nations Sustainable Developing Fashion Unity, or the event. And Surina Surki, CEO of Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, Professor Kiran Fernandes, Professor and Associate of Dean in Durham University, Jawad Sardar, Director of SAM, and as well a Smart City Specialist that as well is part of this ecosystem, and a lot of other personalities from Tel Aviv to Africa to Asia to Latin America to US. And the idea is precisely in 3 days reflect these challenges that we're facing, that most of them Peter mentioned in his previous presentation, but as well creating unity and an ecosystem that empowers both the speakers and different things. All of this will be live streamed on YouTube on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd of April. The last event we did was it reached over 50,000 live people, and after the event, over 500,000 views. This one we expect a bit more views, but we are excited as well, mostly because of the people and the celebration of ideas, and as well looking at a lot of these problems. So we're going to be discussing from problems related with how to create smarter cities and smarter governance, how to look at big data, IoT, cybersecurity for business and SMEs, how to look at the challenges and opportunities with digital health tech and wellness, the future of collaborative innovation, future cities, green cities, fintech, of tech, like tech, all these different areas, but as well in a practical way that everyone can learn with this. There will be a lot of universities involved. We have around 20 universities from all over the world, from people from the MIT to Cambridge, Oxford, Edinburgh, Surrey University, Durham, and so forth, and Imperial College, and as well discussing a lot of these topics. So I think it's this in a nutshell. I welcome everyone that wants to participate. Some of the people in our ecosystem will be speaking, but I think the most important thing is that we try to make this event a way of highlighting this ecosystem, and we're bridging more and more with Peter and the World Smart Cities Forum and the XnTREE and all these initiatives to create an ecosystem that can create true empowerment, but as well solutions for all of us, because I think we're all part of this. And to be honest, looking at a lot of the challenge with technology and biohacking and genetics and modifications, I think we can actually think more on positive narratives and positive solutions, and as well trying to enhance these things, not just to make a kind of dystopian reality that is partly happening, but as well to help a lot of people empower. For instance, I will finish with a small example. I did a project in Africa, in a country that initially I didn't want to go because I saw the Wikipedia entry and I got afraid about the country. And that project turned out, I said no for 2 years, but after the second year, because it was a student of mine that was a PhD student that told me, okay, I was teaching in a business school, and he said, you have to come because the country has fantastic people and you can make a lot of difference. And I went to the country. To be honest, when I arrived in the airport, I was very afraid and I was very conscious that I could actually get in trouble, but it was a fantastic experience. But what happened is that I did a conference with universities. There was people from the World Bank and IMF. And what is interesting is that I managed to create a small fintech revolution in the country, in the sense that the country started actually putting fintech in universities, starting to take things more on this. And I went to the country once, so I was very proud of that. But what is interesting is that's about showing. So I think these tools that are available, so most of people use them. even in the middle of the desert in that country, I could get 3G. And I found that the fishermen were using WhatsApp to send information about their sales to the marketplace. And I think this shows the possibilities that we have with platforms like the World Smart Cities Forum and Cities ABC to really make a change. And I would believe that I will finish with this. This is research that I've been doing. 600 cities around the world are right now responsible for 60% of the world GDP. This is not my data. This is data from McKinsey. So I think that what we're doing with this platform that Peter generously has been investing and building with all of you that are contributing as well from all over the world, I'm very excited and I love to be in these events, is that we can actually make a big positive change, but as well we can have fun and make change in our cities, our countries, and at least make our children and our family relatives a bit less fearful about the social dilemmas of our technology tools that are very dangerous as well if not used properly. I think it's about this. Thank you. Peter, I think you are on mute.
So thank you very much, Denise, for sharing your insights and also explanations about the, the summit and awards next week is very meaningful. I know we actually I'm very grateful to collaborate with each other to support this programs and next week and to support the smart cities and digital transformation. I'd like to ask you, every one of you here, to turn on the video so that the audience and from the internet can see your face. It's much better, I think. We have also other judges from everywhere. So Elliot, you're here now, right? So Elliot is in New York with me. So can you introduce yourself to the audience, quick?
Yeah, well, first of all, Denise, well said. I think you captured the spirit of why we all invest time into this space and how important it is, because if we continue along the path that we are on, it's not a good one. And we need to actively do things today in order to change the trajectory of not just our society, but our environment. And with that, I lead Emergence. We are a intersection of emerging technology and climate tech. We work with early stage companies, seed to Series B, leveraging new technologies such as blockchain, AI, IoT, AR, VR to solve critical environmental, social, and financial issues. And we help with capital raising, strategic M&A advisory, and business development. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So Hilton, can you just introduce yourself up quick? Hilton, you are muted.
Good morning, good afternoon to all of you. I'm Hilton Supra. I work with Dennis Guarda. I'm Vice Chairman of the Studio Group, focusing on really empowerment of our clients through and members of our platform, which is basically the Open Business Council Cities ABC platforms, using our proprietary technology, which has been developed over the years by Dennis and the team, which basically is designed to provide trust and truth and transparency for cities and businesses, and enabling them and empowering them to be essentially at the center of this digital transformation revolution going on, in terms of being in the center of that rather than slaves to technology. So that's what I do. I'm more on the business development and the financing side, and dealing with investors, etc., and also leading the business with Dennis in terms of its overall strategy going forward. The key thing that we have been developing for the world for cities is I've been leading a project with which is basically looking at a way in which we could rank cities in a sustainable way. If you look at most of the rankings of cities in terms of sustainability, you tend to have New York, London, Amsterdam, Berlin, as the key top of the list members, whereas that we want to look at a way in which it's not a proxy for wealth, but a proxy for achievement in terms of sustainability. That we've built the Index DNA, which is a proprietary technology, and been working with leading academics to come up with the Index DNA scientific derived ranking index for cities, which will be launching at our summit on the 21st of April next week.
Wonderful, Hilton. Thank you very much. So we have 3-4 startups pitching for today. This is a rule for just in a nutshell. So each startup, they share their presentation deck, sharing the screen. So you can share the screen. If you're ready, you can go for 8 minutes for your presentation. And then after your presentation, there will be questions by the judging group. And there will be the Q&A session for another 7 minutes. So you have a total of 50 minutes. Please be on sharp. Then I'll actually just give you a kind of signal that you have to be, on time. And also for the judges, you will have the scorecard for evaluation for the pitching startups. I already sent you over the WhatsApp group chat. So if you don't have it, I can actually maybe personally can just send you over. Please let me know. Then after just grading them, then you just submit to me anytime today or maybe tomorrow. Then I can actually organize them correctly. If you have any questions, let's get started. We have, let me just show you this one for quick. So we have the company's dot bike. So who's doing a dot bike for today?
It's me. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And BUSMAP?
Yes.
Okay, so you're next. And Modmo? Jack, okay, thank you. Is Tico is here today? Righto? Okay, so maybe we have 3 starters for today. So let's get started. And this program is sponsored by the World Smart Cities Forum and also the Hanoi City Government with Hanoi Hoan Kien City Council, and UK DIT, Department of International Trade, European Technology Chamber, TechFest in Vietnam, and NSSC from Vietnam as well, and Blockchain 71 from Singapore and also based in Ho Chi Minh City, Zitudium and Cities ABC and Yellow Blocks and Archive Labs, and Bicomax and Business Incubator in Vietnam, and V Startup as well. So let's get started with the first pitching startup, dot bike. If you're ready, please let me know. Can you share the screen with your presentation deck?
One moment. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just like let me know if you're ready, then I probably maybe start counting 8 minutes.
You actually disable participant sharing.
Yeah,
So,
if you just go down in the middle, you can see the sign.
Yeah, but
yeah, you can.
It's like, yeah, the host disable participant screen sharing already.
Yeah.
So you need to enable it for me, right?
Yeah, you can do it. I actually
have earphones. Maybe the audio is not very good at all. Like
there are a lot of echoes. Chung, you have a lot of echoes.
Trung, if you maybe have a headset, then we might hear you better.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. 1 moment.
Or just let me know if you want to maybe after somebody else, or you want to just go first.
Yeah, then that should be like better for me to get the headset. Right? So yeah, I'll switch second.
Right. And then in that case, I think that BUSMAP, can you do it right now?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay. Can you share your presentation deck on screen? Wonderful. Okay, so let's get started from now on. Okay, let's go.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Tan, and I'm CEO of BUSMAP. And I will report today about our smart mobility solutions. So, first introduction, we focus our application to have 4 core technology, which are map platform, AI, big data, and Internet of Things. So we aim to master one of the 4 core technology so that we can provide a smart mobility solution for our customer. So why we follow this 4 core technology? So first is the map platform. So for the smart mobility, map platform is one of the core technology that every application should have. So we aim to master this map technology at first when we start the business. So now we already have our own map platform that we don't need to depend on any other third-party map platform. So on our projects, we can use this map platform to build, and it helps us to scale and reduce the cost for if we don't need to depend on any third-party application, which also help us to deliver faster to our customer and with high customizable. So we can have some advanced features for the map, like indoor map features, and also we can customize the map, like we deployed the COVID map in Da Nang for the last year of the pandemic. That's we already, since we launched, we already scaled this map platform to other 7 provinces in Vietnam. So everyone know that one of our first application is BUSMAP, which we have more than 2 million users. So the whole application for the user of public transit, and also the CMS for management the bus, and on the data focusing on the public transit, we already built ourselves in-house, and you can see that this is heavily based on our map platform. So for this, we can provide a multifunctional application for the user, and now we are able to be one of the top public transit application in Vietnam. So since BUSMAP application, we aim to make it as a mobility service, and also scale the public transit package into other business and government. So we are already working with Winbus of Vingroup. So you can see recently Winbus launched the bus system, and the back end, the dashboard, and every of the bus management system is we BUSMAP build up applications. And it's not only about the software, but we also have the hardware, which I will introduce later. And we also work with the RAF for the connecting the last mile traveling. So now on the user, people can use bus for navigation, and also use RAF bike for the last mile traveling. And we also integrate with the intercity bus system so that we can sell the bus ticket on our platform. And the next thing we want to improve our core technology is the AI and big data. So based on the 2 million users, we already have a large amount of data, and we improve our navigation and also our AI to detect better algorithm for the user. So based on it, we can do traffic analysis and some algorithm for navigation, which we can improve it and use it for other business. And the next thing is our IoT technology. So we also aim to improve. We not only master at the software, but we want to master at the hardware too. So we already built an IoT team at the first time, and since that we can have some application for the IoT when we build for our business, like for the customer like Winbus. So in Winbus, we not only provide the software for management of the bus, but we also have some IoT device for tracking the bus, and also like the LED, the smart LED at the bus station, so it can see the real time of the bus coming. So we already sell this device to the bus, the Winbus, and also for other customer of government and business. So I can show you 2 study case that based on our 4 technology. First is the case study in Da Nang city. So for this case, we built a platform for the city to manage all of the public vehicles, like the ambulance, the fire trucks. So now, for example, a user, they book for, they call 115 for the ambulance. They can receive the real-time location of the ambulance, And the driver, the ambulance can also see the real-time location of the user. And on of the process is tracking and recorded on the city dashboard. So we can integrate. You can see that we not only provide the software, but on each ambulance we also have our GPS hardware device, and which help us to track the location in real time. And the second case is work with the business is we have the school bus. So based on our BUSMAP platform, we can improve for the school bus. So now we already launched this model for international school in Vietnam, and for this year we will start scaling this model. So now the student, when they go on the bus, the parent can also know when they go on and when they go up. And you see that on each bus we also have our IoT device with a smart GPS with the cars checking. So we also improve this device so that we can have the Face ID which is from our AI team. So you can see that the whole solution from the software to the hardware is built in-house from our team, so we can control 100% of the solution. And our scaling plan is for last year we already raised $1.5 million, and from this year for the last year we already raised, and we packaged on our development for the products. And for this year, when we already have some the product for the Vinbus, the smart school and other business, we aim to scale this solution to other business and government in Vietnam and also in sea area. So this is our team. So I'm the CEO, and also the CEO is also the IoT lead. And we also have Mr. Sung, the CEO is also take care of the business. So that's in my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chung. I'm sorry, Chuan. How do I pronounce your name?
Tan.
Tan, sorry. So now it's time for the Q&A session. Any questions from the judges? You have 7 minutes.
Tan, Celine here. Thank you for your presentation. It's really interesting. I like the fact that you're tackling the current problem with the COVID as well. You just quickly mentioned that you have roughly 2 million users already. I suppose that's across the 7 cities. How are you generating revenue on your platform? I mean, is it a free app that's currently downloadable, or do you have your revenue gained through advertisement models?
Yes, so actually we have two models for revenue. First is the B2B and the second is B2C. So for this time, the revenue is come from the B2B section. So as you see that we use the technology of BUSMAP to build for the customer. So for the bus, we also build for the school bus and the bus for employee. So we build the bus management system, and we work with Vinbus to build the bus management system for Vinbus. And for the smart city project, we build a smart city platform for the government. So we get most of the revenue come from the project basic and also from the subscription for our map license.
Thank you.
All right, any more questions? Selena, Elliot, Denise?
I have no questions.
Yeah.
Hi, thanks. Nice to meet you here. We know I got us a long time. It's wonderful to see all amazing process. You know, that's from very beginning until now. I'm so happy and congratulations on the team. So my question and a little bit feedback, that's how, you know, the long term for BUSMAP, not only BUSMAP, right, but they are adding more value and services for the user, and the user now like relevant to smart city. That's not only student but many people, they focus on, you know, sustainable living of the city. So I just would like to ask you, what is the next few years, what is more value, more services that you imagine that's, you know, gonna add in your services? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Selena. And for the next 2 or 3 years, I'm seeing that for the BUSMAP itself, if you can see that now, it's still re-application. So we don't actually make the very good revenue from the application itself. But what we make good is about the user and the data. So based on that, we can also improve our core technology. And in the next few years, when we already launch the solution for the smart city for each city in Vietnam, we can upgrade the BUSMAP application to become a super app. So you can see that now we are building the smart city platform for Da Nang, which including calling the ambulance, the fire trucks. So later, when we relaunch this one and it's run smoothly, we can also integrate into BUSMAP, so that it's not only about the application for the bus, but it's also for smart city services. So when we launch some e-government project, we can also integrate that into the BUSMAP application. So the application itself become like a super app for the smart city.
Thank you. Wonderful.
Thank you. Elliot, do you have any more comments?
I have just one question about, thank you so much, about how do you interact in terms of, mostly in terms of data protection and in terms of the relationship between the data that you're picking on the different levels of public data to the private data of the people? I think that's a relevant question that everyone probably is looking for right now, but just to understand top level, how you're trying to work that. And if you're using probably a second layer, if you're using any blockchain technology on this to decentralize or at least to create a smart contract around the protection of data.
Yes, so currently for the data that we have is mostly the anonymous data. So we don't actually store the identity of the user, but we only store the mobility data, like the requirement when the user where's the requirement when the demand for traveling. So that's mostly in anonymous data. And we not store the identity data of the user for analysis. And in the futures, when we integrate for other, you can see that we build for the smart city platform. We also try to make a data pool so that we can collect one of that data so that we can process for others for other insights. For example, you can see that now we are building the school bus application for tracking the bus of the student or the traveling to school. So based on the GPS data, we can get the real-time GPS so that in the future we can get the real-time traffic like Google and others. So that's some of the important data that we have, but that will be anonymous.
Good. Elliot, do you have any comments or questions?
Just a comment. I like the focus on buses. It is not something that I've come across very often. So I think that you have a good application for a very specific focus, and I appreciate that. And I think that you may have success if you continue down that very specific path. I think a lot of early stage companies kind of veer away. It's great that you're focused specifically on buses here.
Yeah, thank you. So I want to put some additional. So now we not only target on bus, but we focus on the smart mobility solution. So we also develop our solution for any application that related to mobility. For example, we are also testing with the Saigon port to test an AI camera so that we can detect the container when they go into the port in real time to like make the smooth for the Saigon port. So that is still in development, but we are in demo for the port area.
All right, thank you all for appreciate it. If you have more comments, we can actually maybe send it over to Starter for the questions, and we can actually just do it later on. Thank you very much again. It's a lovely presentation. I love it. BUSMAP, thank you. Next one, actually, are you ready? Dot bike, Mr. Chung. You're muted. I think you're muted.
All right. Yeah, I'm here. So.
Still, I hear some echoes. Can you use your headset?
Already? So it's still echoing?
Can you just raise your voice, because your voice is too.
Oh yeah.
I can barely hear you.
Hello.
Okay, that's better. All right, let's go ahead. Can you share the your presentation deck on screen? Wonderful. All right, let's go ahead. You can go.
Hello everyone. So I'm Chung from Dubai. So it's an honor to be here today to present to you about our company and it's possible for the Smart City Challenge. So in short, so we make electric bike, electric motorbike in Vietnam, and it was looking at the market here in Vietnam. So we actually having like 3.5 million unit of new bike sold every year. And this is accounted for 85 million daily user of two-wheel vehicle on the street. But in that 85 million, only 3% is actually electric. If we do a little math, so this is actually like has been account the pollution is from the vehicle has been accounted for around 70% of the total pollution, total air pollution, and in the total vehicle on the street. So two-wheel vehicles actually is accounted for 90% of them. So we are talking about 63% of like air pollution that is waiting for solution to be reduced. When talking about electric motorbike, so we can actually talking about a lot of stuff. Why is it like superior comparing to a gasoline bike? So we are talking about bike that is actually like 10 times cheaper to upgrade. So for example, in order to go for 100 kilometers, an electric motorbike like ours is gonna cost you around like less than $50 in electric. If you are talking in gasoline, so the most modern, like most efficient bike gonna take you around like 3 to 4 years, and in gasoline in order to reach like 100 kilometers. I really using electric bike actually is like cost less in maintenance, and it's actually like reduce the no more dirty gas station. If we do a little math here, so for people actually that want to switch from like normal gasoline bike to electric bike, so it's worth like a 5 month like investment period compare. So at the moment, our bike is actually going for something like 1,800 bucks on the street, and the performance actually comparable to the bike at the price was around 1,600. Which means like after 5 or 6 months, like your investment actually like balance. But there's a big problem. So despite the all of the superiority of electric bike compared to gas bike, the adoption of electric bike in Vietnam is still at 3%. And even if we are talking about 30% of annual like growth, so in 5 years, so the total adoption of electric vehicle, two-wheel vehicle in Vietnam is still something around like 12%. So pretty low. And that's why. So it's come to this question, why electric bike is good, is better for the environment as well as for people's economy, but then why they haven't switched. So there are actually like two main reasons for that. So we come up with this one. So after a lot of like interview, a lot of talk with like our customer. So the first one is that the current electric bikes are weak and low range, which is actually this is 1/3 comparing to the gasoline bike. And we actually did a lot of surveys, and it's actually quite out around like 65% of people actually believe that power and range are the top deciding factors for deciding to switch from their gasoline bike into an electric one. So we are talking about gasoline bike which can last for more than, I mean, like 100 kilometers, from ranging from 150 kilometers, and comparable electric option that can only last for 50 kilometers per charge, plus the long charging time. The second reason is that it actually is very expensive to make high performance electrics. This is actually due to the supply chain. You have to rely on generic imported third-party drivetrains and battery packs. And we intend to solve these 2 points. And at the moment, we actually building the only e-motorbike that drives gas in power and range. We can go into a little detail into that. So our current bikes can actually travels at around 100 kilometers per charge. And each charging time, the charging time actually less than 3 hours for the current version. So we are about to go with an upgrade on this version quite soon in the next 3 months, which can boost the performance of the bike into 200 kilometers for a single charge that less than 2 hours. So solving that, we actually believe that the first problem for the customers is about the performance of the bike on the range and the capacity of the bike. They do not have to worry when switching from the gasoline one into the electric one. Okay. The second thing is that our bike, actually the price of the bike comparing to others high performing bike actually very competitive. We are talking about, if we are talking about that can actually go for more than 100 kilometer range and have the charging time is actually less than 3 hours. We are talking about bike which is going to cost you more than $5,000 at least. You can just go for a quick Google search and you will have all of those information about that. And we are offering our current bike as a price actually go down to 1,800 bucks. So which actually is a little bit still high comparing to low income Vietnamese. But if you're comparing to the other gasoline buying that Vietnamese actually buying, they're buying a Honda Airblade for something like $1,700. So the buy is very comparable in every features. Yes. Okay. So for the coming months, our goal is actually trying to upgrade a lot on our capacity and the performance of the bike. After that, we are seeking for market expansion, and we are seeking for to have more and more model of the bike, which is actually more suited for the lifestyle of the mass public in Vietnam than the current one. For the current bike, so our main target audience is actually the younger generation, and which actually they have a lot of care for the environment and actually the trend sectors. So after this one, so we're gonna have more projects with actually focus on the mass market, which is more traditional design.
So you're almost done. I mean, so can you actually wrap it up in 30 seconds?
Right. Okay. So we're taking a lot of feedback from our customer, and we're trying to expand our market by creating this huge community that actually love the bike and sharing about the bike experience. So why we are trying to doing so? So in Vietnam, actually, people still have a lot of doubts about electric bike and about the brand actually that behind the bike, and we are trying to grow the trust into our brand by letting the customers saying for ourselves, putting their own story, and the customer is the one who is going to convince more people, who's going to take more interest in the bike. right? In the next 12 months, so our goal is actually is like going to reduce the cost to build the device, which is currently like 1,300 to around 1,000. So which is very similar to current gas bike. And going to boost the sales and boost the production as well. Yep. That. I think that's it. So thanks a lot for listening. So I'm here for any further questions if you have any.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Chung. I think that because I already mentioned that from the my master plan of this Hanoi Smart City, electric bike system is one of the key components to be targeted in the next 5 years. So I think probably there might be a lot of questions from the judges at the moment. So any questions from the judges?
Can you close the screen, Mr. Chung?
I can start probably. I used quite a lot of electric bikes and normal bikes in London. And London has quite a good, well, actually an excellent system. Actually, they actually right now creating a lot of roads for bikes, and actually it's great for. And I live actually 6 years in Sweden. So Sweden and Denmark in particular have the best place probably for bikes in the world. So how do you cope? Because I know a bit Vietnam, and especially the central cities, it's quite tricky to because there's a lot of traffic and things like that. Do you have any kind of focus to work with the cities to try to find places where to put the bikes, find places how to organize, not to make sure that the bikes become a disturbance for the city? This has been happening, for instance, in cities in Europe, where for instance, the scooters, the renting of scooters and bikes sometimes creates issues with the population. So are you trying to look at this? Because I think from the rest of the model seems okay, but I think this is quite important for the success of a business like this, is where do you put the bikes? How do you organize this? And how you create as well the way for the traffic around this?
Hello, so at the moment, I think there's a bit huge difference from how traffic in Vietnam and how traffic in European country work. So actually in Vietnam and other Southeast Asian countries, so I mean like the amount of people are using two-wheel vehicles is just huge. So we are talking about like 85 million daily users of two-wheel vehicle per day, right? And the approach that we are taking at the moment is giving people a chance that to switch from their current option with using the gasoline bike, which is more polluted, to another option, which is actually more environmental friendly. I know you're concerned about the route and then how it's going to deal with traffic jams. But at the moment, so we are yet to have a solution for that. Yeah, to be honest. Right.
Okay. More questions?
Yes, I have another questions. So I would like to know firstly the patents, and second question is the marketing channels, sales channel, like supply chain, you focus on B2B or B2C, and how much percent, between B2B and B2C. So 2 questions, right? The patent for this already filed, right? And second one, that the marketing channel and, supply chain, distribution channel. Thank you.
Yeah, so the first one for the patent. So to be honestly, so we have some, but we actually don't believe that is gonna we will have to focus on that a lot, since the technology in this field advances really fast. So we are actually have to push in our R&D team to keep pushing ahead. So I mean things you are making today is gonna be irrelevant in the next 3 years. If we are talking about technology with electric vehicle, so this is not really rocket science, you are flying with a rocket to the space. So it's more on application of engineering and we are at the moment as an edge that we can actually produce like high performing vehicles as a much lower cost, and which but yeah, and it has a lot of things to do with the supply chain in Vietnam as well. The second thing is for the marketing general. So actually we are a B2C company, but we are always open for fleet sale. If we can make any like good B2B deals, so we are always open for that. Yeah, but in general we are always like B2C. We serve directly to our customer.
Okay. Thank you. Elliot, do you have any comments or question?
Just one question. I appreciate that the DAT bike is competitively superior to other products in the market today, but innovation changes very quickly, and there will be a lot of new entrants in the market as the barrier to entry in the market is lower. How do you plan on keeping that bike at the top of the market in terms of price and functionality?
Yeah. So if we are talking about the technology, so we actually have the core of the technologies like developed in-house. So if we're talking about like electric like vehicles, the two-wheel one. So the two more important thing is the drivetrain, is actually serve as like the CBDO for the bike. And the second thing is a battery pack. So two of those is actually developed in-house by our engineering team. So comparing to other players on the market has to rely on like taking third-party drivetrain and taking third-party battery pack. We are only one step ahead of them. We can move much faster. Let's say like twice faster than the people if they're still using like third-party supply for this one. The second thing is like locating in Vietnam and Southeast Asia actually is in an edge on the supply chain. And Vietnam has like very favorable like tax system for you to develop like bike in the country. And we are talking about 45% tariff on bike if you import directly from abroad, and 15 to 30% on part if you import it and assemble it in Vietnam. So we have like around more than 90% of our bike is made in Vietnam at the moment. So which actually gave us an edge over the price in this market. Yeah. But just come back to the issue, like you are totally right. The market changed so fast, and we see ourselves in this very like tight race. So we have around like 3 to 4 years to actually like trying to get the Southeast Asian market for someone else from Indonesia or from Thailand to already do that. That's true.
Thank you. Celine, do you have any comments?
No, I guess like it's a minor question actually. What is it? Because sorry, I'm not very familiar with Vietnam at all. What's the sort of charging opportunities for the bikes, right? Like because we saw it in Europe when Tesla became like the most popular car. The people could only afford it. Of course, the car was quite expensive, but the additional issue was that there weren't enough charging stations. So with your bike, by the way, an applause to the design. It has this sort of vintage, slightly Harley, but yet vintage look to it. So I like the look a lot. But I guess on the user-friendly side, it's so important that you also have the access to plug it and charge it. And what is the situation on that in Vietnam?
Right. So this is the main difference between like two-wheel electric vehicles and like the four-wheel ones is that the electric bike like they don't need like special charging station.
Oh, you can just extract the battery and then just just charge it at a socket?
No, I mean like, and there's two ways to do so. One is like exchanging battery. We are not so keen on that. We are really on the improvement of the battery life and the charging time. So at the moment, our bike can charge less than 3 hours from a normal socket. So just plug it in like any house socket or socket at the coffee shop or like any kind of socket, and with our charger, which is twice the size of the laptop charger, and then you can have the bike ready to go in less than 3 hours.
Right.
For our second version, so we managed to improve the charging time to less than 2 hours or the 200 kilometers range. So it also can be charged from any type of socket, like normal domestic sockets can be fine.
Is there initiatives from the government that it's like free charging stations? Because here in particular in Europe, it's quite a few countries are providing free access to, you know, charge your Tesla, charge your bike or everything. Are there already these kind of initiatives in Da Nang or like in other parts and cities in Vietnam?
I believe those charging stations are much more relevant to car than bike.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So bike, they don't really need like charging station. They don't really need the special charging time and at the station. They can be charged from anywhere. So we don't really need to waste resource on building charging station for bike. But
maybe that's an initiative for Peter with the World Smart City Forum that, you know, if there's a city that provides free plugs, it might be worth thinking about it.
Yeah, so the free plug is totally fine. And it's very easy to do. Yeah, you do not have to like do a very like complex system like you have to have for the car. At the moment, if you are talking about like electric car, you're gonna have to have something like at least like 6 different lightning fast charging like type of port, and it's gonna be quite complicated, right?
Okay, sounds good. Time's up. Just like trying to remind you of your presentation deck, Tan and also Chung, and probably maybe Jack. It would be great if you actually send me over with the presentation deck so that I can actually share with the judges and investors. So can you just please do that after this presentation, this webinar? And lastly, Chung, thank you very much for your efforts to pitching your, talking about your company. Now, can you just close your presentation deck on the screen? And finally, Modemo, it's time for Modemo. Jack, are you ready?
Yes, I'm good to go.
Okay, so can you? Yeah, okay, that's good. So you good to go now?
Yeah, it's good.
Go ahead.
Cool. I'm good to go. Cool. So hi guys, my name's Jack. I'm the founder of Modemo. I'm originally from Ireland, but I've been in Vietnam for the last 3 years working on the project. So can you guys see the full screen there?
No, I think that you should.
Yeah,
is it the file? Okay.
I can swap.
Much better.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, I'm the founder of Modemo, and we make smart electric and modular bicycles. So if you fast forward a year ago to when we launched, COVID had just hit Europe, and there had been a 60% drop in public transport usage, 50% drop in road usage, and e-bikes like started booming. All e-bikes pretty much across Europe sold out of bike shops. So they call it the great bike boom of 2020. So we had been positioned perfectly for this. 2 years ago, we started developing the product here in Vietnam with the mission to really accelerate the adoption of e-bikes as a primary form of urban transport. And we wanted to do this by addressing 3 common issues associated with, using your bike to get around daily, right? So everybody knows if you're cycling to work, you're going to be sweaty. Bikes, especially in Europe, get stolen all the time. and you can't really bring anything with you unless it's in a bag on your back. So these are the things that I did, and developed a new product that's finished right now. So I'm just going to show you this introduction video. Yeah, it'll kind of talk through all the features of the bike. Maybe we can swap to this one. Okay. Cool. So this is the video that we launched pretty much exactly a year ago today. We launched a concept of what we wanted to create and put it on the internet, and we started getting pre-orders throughout the world. So over the last year, we've assembled a team here in Vietnam. We've got about 25 people now, and we shipped our first products in February. So here is the final product. And basically, yeah, it's a smart electric and modular bicycle. So some of the unique features that we've built into it have been lighting into the handlebars. It's fully modular. So you can see we've got a range of accessories that clip on, things like a child seat. Also, the food delivery box is really popular in Europe. Also, a unique feature is that the battery is removable and has a range of up to 200 kilometers. So we've now got a number of different models of the bike that allow you to insert any battery, and basically the main difference has got to do with the weight and the cost. So depending on how price sensitive you are, you can choose your battery for your bike and go anywhere up to 200 kilometers with a 4-hour charge. We're also working on the next evolution of bikes. So kind of here's the concept of what we want to create, like a full-on heads-up display showing Google Maps, Spotify, and anything really, as it will run on the Android operating system. And you can see a prototype of the PCB that the guys just finished off yesterday. So that will be kind of the evolution of our bike and where we see the direction of smart bikes going. We also developed here an app. So the bike is an integrated 4G GPS sensor as well as Bluetooth. So you can track all your movements on the bike. You can do a software lock and you'll get notified if the bike moves and you're not within a close proximity. You can see everywhere you've cycled, how many kilometers you've done, your battery level, as well as how many calories you've burnt. So this bike is right now about 47% made in Vietnam, and we are certainly trying hard to get that up to 100%. We've got a team of 25 engineers here at the moment, and you know, we're like 100% product focused. We really don't have anyone in marketing, but I guess the advantage of that is the products have been able to sell themselves. So over the past year, we've pre-sold about 1,500 of these bikes, and once delivered would represent a couple of million euro. And we've also just closed a round of investment this week on Tuesday. So again, that'll be mainly going into production, increasing our production volumes, and also bringing more production into Vietnam. So here is one of the production runs. We have the ambition to open our factory towards the end of this year. And yeah, although we do have a mainly Vietnamese team, we've got some bike-related experience in the business as well. We've got myself, I founded another bicycle company while I was in high school. We've also got Damien. He was 7 years as head of marketing in the largest online bike store in the world. based in Ireland, and we've got Sebastian in finance. But yeah, so that's pretty much my presentation, nice and short. So I think we can jump into any questions if you guys like.
Okay, thank you, Jack. It's very interesting, you know, the solutions and services. I think probably maybe I've seen lots of, you know, delivery manufacturers riding e-bikes in New York City, like DoorDash or Uber Eats. So I think probably maybe Elliot has some kind of questions about that as well. Also, that would be also very interesting topics to compare between e-bikes and the electricity scooters. I think probably maybe Selena has one question now.
Yes, thank you. So, hi Jace, thank you for the project. It's so interesting. You know, I've been in traveling a lot in Europe, especially Netherlands. You know, I saw a lot of kind of bike with carry-on food for like Uber, right? Uber Grab. So my question is, your next market is not Vietnam, right? So how to target the market, and the size of the next market is how much, you know, how much million?
Yeah.
First
so
question,
like,
yeah.
So
And
okay,
second
so
question, technical about the patent. Have you guys filed the patent or the plan to get a patent? Thank you.
Sure. Cool. So the first question, our main market is actually Germany. So 85% of our sales went into Germany. And we've also now shipping to 27 other European countries. So yeah, we've pretty good luck there. And I guess that was mainly because Germany is the biggest market for electric bikes in the world, actually. And, you know, we had a very organic start. Like it was really just me and one engineer sitting in my apartment in Ho Chi Minh City when we launched the business. And basically we just got a lot of media attention, and, you know, that's the beauty of e-commerce, that we were able to sell across the world. So it wasn't necessarily intentional, but in terms of like growth markets, we are focusing solely on Europe. We're starting to expand our team in Ireland at the moment. And we've got like independent sales representatives starting in a couple of different countries, and basically they're able to go to potential clients and give them demos of the bikes. So companies like Food Panda, same as Grab Eats, they will be demoing our bikes with the delivery box to start rolling that out across Europe. Second question got to do with patents. So we had a kind of a difficult decision early on because we had no initial funding, and in order to get the product out there and get pre-orders, we had to show our design in public before we had full patents registered. Although we did have provisional patents registered, we did not have the money to execute the full registration before they expired. So right now, a lot of our intellectual property is in the software that we've written, but we've also got new products coming out quite soon that do have patents.
Good, thank you. More questions?
I have a question, my turn. I really like the sort of the bike look. It looks like at the moment it's like a unisex model, right? Like, because normally on bikes you have like men's bike who are more the mountain bike with a bar in the middle. The ladies have a slightly tilted. So are you currently sort of running one unisex model?
Yeah, exactly. And we do, a women's bike will be the next one that we release.
Okay.
Basically the plan is to build our core technology first, and then we can roll that out and build frames that are more specific to the different customer segments.
Yeah. And another question. So you mentioned that on your, how shall I call it, smart handlebar, you will have sort of the heads-up display, and you mentioned that you're going to have like Google Maps and Spotify. How does governments and regulators, you know, like that? Because clearly when you're cycling, you're supposed to concentrate on the road, not simultaneously looking at the map nor listening to music. So, I mean, I like it. I would personally use it all the time, probably gearing up some podcasts. But is there speakers built in, or is it how?
So there's Bluetooth built into the original connection. And I guess, look, I look at it with the sense, a car infotainment system is much worse, you know? And also, I don't know about you, but like riding one-handed and pulling out your phone to check Google Maps is also probably more dangerous than looking down at your handlebar. So I don't see it as being too big of an issue.
Okay, because I mean, I live in Liechtenstein, well, it's kind of Switzerland next to Germany. I know that kids are being pulled over who were cycling to school who had clearly the ear pods plugged into their ears, and then they had to push the next 10 kilometers to school. So it's just maybe something to bear in mind. Another question that I have is on what is the suggested retail price?
So we've got two models with the same kind of core chassis. They go from 1,800 euro up to 2,500 euro. So while that's quite expensive for, say, a Vietnamese market,
average,
it's pretty attractive in Europe. Yeah.
And how would sort of the warranty and guarantee work since you're based in Vietnam? Do you have contracts with sweatshops in Germany? So there's probably like a 2-year warranty or something.
Yeah, exactly. We've got a 2-year warranty on the bike. We hold spare components in our German warehouse, and also have contracted with, traveling and repair services that can actually come to you and repair your bike if there's an issue. But we'll also be rolling out our own repair staff across Europe. Just once we hit a critical mass in each country, we'll take that on ourselves.
Okay. Because I am actually connected to a Swiss large bike distributor. They are the main distributor for Scots and Bulls. So there might be, like, besides the sort of pitching from today, there might be an interesting lead for you that I am happy to establish.
Yeah, that would be great.
Thank you.
All right, any more questions?
Hey, Jack, appreciate your journey from Ireland to Vietnam. That's pretty unique there. You had mentioned pre-orders when you had launched. Can you talk a little bit about what that trajectory looks like, and then also your ability to fulfill those orders, and how long it takes, what the process looks like from order to manufacture? Are you building these before they're being ordered, or are you building them once they are being ordered?
Yeah, so originally we had a proof of concept, right? We had a bike that resembled the final product, but in order to get there, for the frame alone, we had to invest maybe $50,000 in the molds and tooling to do all the custom tubing. And then after that, there was a huge amount of very small components that we had to create. So ourselves, Modmo, produced around 150 unique components for our bike. So it's a pretty big project to, coordinate all of that and try have every single part in the assembly factory on the same day, ready to ship the bikes. So we did our first production run, from concept to shipping from Vietnam in 10 months, which, was quite quick. And, we've kind of been continuously iterating now to, simplify parts, remove components from the production line so we can really speed that up. Yeah, is there anywhere I can go into more on that?
So if I were to order one now, are you building it as I order it?
Yeah, so that's why we raised money. So basically, pre-orders funded the entire product development, and now we raised some money to purchase stock. So if you order today, you would get delivery in July, but then by about August, September, we'll have, say, next day delivery. So
by August or September, you have next day delivery. So
yeah.
How are you anticipating sales versus, because how long does it take to manufacture it now from start?
About 4 months.
So you have a 4-month anticipation, you're anticipating sales 4 months. And so you're investing capital in now to manufacture bikes in anticipation of that?
Yeah, but I can almost assure you, we probably won't have stock. I can't imagine how they're not going to be sold out before they land. But, we'll be continuously reinvesting our revenue into stock. And, we're also exploring other avenues of debt put into that,
So then,
so maybe to rephrase,
what's your marketing and what's your marketing?
Will have all of our current pre-orders will be fulfilled by around July.
And what's your marketing plan look like? I know Selena had mentioned focus on geography, and Europe that's a big region, right? And your primary sales appear to be in Germany. Where are you targeting your marketing spend in order to ensure that the stock that you're building is going to be sold?
Yeah, so actually one of the interesting things is that we've never spent money on advertising. All of our sales were organic and came through the press that we got by, creating a really good bike. And basically going forward, we don't really foresee needing marketing spend for the next 4 months. Basically, we've got so many reviews lined up with the likes of, Forbes, Wired, New York Times, quite a long list. And, the conversion rate we see on product reviews is really high. So it's still a matter of, trying to take the most profitable marketing route, which is PR because it's free, whilst we're not able to fulfill all our orders. And then
is there
Germany?
Is there any restrictions in terms of manufacturing in Vietnam and then delivering them globally? I know Peter and I are in New York, and there's high demand of electric bikes in New York. Is there any restrictions in coming in here?
A few, but we've sort of designed the product to meet that criteria. So yeah, Europe would have its regulations, but a lot of the countries are quite the same. I know the US, for example, just needs some extra certification, but I think once we find a suitable partner to work with in the US, you'll see Modmo bikes there. But yeah, we've still got a long way to go in Europe before Modmo ourselves focuses on that.
And then you said suitable partner. Who does that partner look like, or what does that partner look like?
Yeah, a large distributor who can kind of fund the cash flow needed to produce the bikes.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I think it's almost time's up. Then thank you again, Jack. It's a very interesting topic that you actually covered. Personally, I'm very excited with it. So I think that almost done, but I think there was one startup actually just missed that out yesterday. Tuan, right? Hello? You are muted, I think. Tuan? Hello? Tuan? Yeah, actually the same problem yesterday. I think he's here. Hang on a second. So typical JSC. Tuan, are you there?
Yes.
So you're the last one. Yeah, I hear you, but there are a lot of echoes around you. So can you use the headset or earphone?
Yeah, I have.
So you.
Hello. Hello.
Can you say something?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's much better. Can you share your presentation deck on the screen, please?
Yes. Share cái màn hình đi.
You have any problem with that?
Yeah, just 1 minute, please. Every minute.
So by the way, Jack, Tan, and Chung, I think that every one of you, please just send me the email. Send me your presentation deck after this. I'll actually write down my email address right here, just in case. Okay?
Yes. So can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see you. All right, so let's go. You have 8 minutes.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. My name is T. I'm come from the Tikun company. So today I bring to the pitching a presentation about the TK smart versions and integrated e-learning. So beside the customer is the enterprises, we also have the customer involved in the education. It's school system. As you can see our slide, it is school, a logo of school. So today I want to introduce to you the software solutions that is called TK Smart Vision Edu. We apply in the school system in Ho Chi Minh City via kiosk. We have 3 functions in one kiosk. And the first function is check-in by scanning face. The second one is checking body temperature. And the third one is hand washing. As you can see, this is our kiosk. As you can see, this is a screen showing the information of the pupil. And this the screen which shown the notification of school. And this is straight for hand washing. So these are some the function for managed operation of school. So school management, education management, school fee notification, and statistic and report, import and output that data, and the live function. And in one kiosk, we iterated the 3 functions: the scan, check-in by scanning face, and at that time, the kiosk also check the body temperature, and the student can hand washing. So we can save a lot of money, a lot of time, and we don't need a lot of people for checking temperatures. Existing methods nowadays in the Ho Chi Minh City. And all of the information of the student when scanning, after scanning face, all of the information of student went automatically uploaded in our system. And school and parents can follow the student information via website. We also developed the mobile application for administrator, teachers, and parents. And this is the applications for administrator with some the function. Those are school fee notification, and student attendance, staff attendance, and teacher attendance. The next one is the teacher application with the functions are checking. Teacher can check in when they come to when they are out of school, but the distance will be separated in the dependence on the school request. And some function supporting for the managed, for example, the common the notebook schedule, teacher schedule, and some the student achievement, and its information is trained between teachers and parents. And similar to teacher, parents also are developed the app for their own. They can follow their children's information about the check-in time and the body temperature via check-in function. And they also can they can know their children's schedule. For example, today, and their children will do any lesson and which term. And the school fee, the notification, the payment, that time, something like that. And they also can follow their children's achievement in school. And the information is trained between the teachers and students. I think we think this function is very necessary for both of school teachers and parents, especially in the COVID periods. COVID, not only in Vietnam but also all over the world, it happened happening complexly. So this is very necessary for school and parents. And besides those the functions I introduced to you, we integrated in this system with the e-learning system. E-learning system, for example, in the COVID quarantine periods, the school and student can study, teacher can teach, and student can learn from home via the e-learning system. And this is the school we apply our system. Our customer is from the primary school, secondary school, and high school, even the educational centers. As you can see, it's our customer we apply. And this is the cost. And this is the cost for the installing this system, also the maintenance fees. Okay, this is the human resources and our staff for this project. This is the project counselor, tech team, technology team, and the business staff. Okay, that's all. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Now, we're taking questions from the judge, please.
Yes, please. Can you repeat your question?
No, you're done, and we just like trying to take any questions from the judge.
Yeah.
I think that maybe this is actually education field. I think probably Selena, you might actually have some questions. You know much better than anybody else here.
Yeah. So thank you, Mr. Tuấn Trần, for the great presentation, special boarding program for school in Vietnam. My question is, how different between you and competitor? Because you know this product already exists in Vietnam with several other startups, and they apply well AI. The different, and secondly, the milestone and the roadmap for the next step for revenue for the user and for development of the business. Thank you.
Thank you.
So what is the unique point between you and competitor?
Okay, so please wait a minute. Thì cô nói là thứ nhất là câu hỏi nhất là cái sự khác biệt của mình với đối thủ, đúng không? Cái thứ hai nữa là cái hướng mà mình phát triển trong cái sản phẩm này trong tương lai, đúng không? Khác biệt là cái sự bày đúng không?
Hello?
Do you need me to repeat the questions? You are muted, Tuấn. Right?
Yeah, is it Tuan, right?
Tuấn,
yeah, you are muted. So can you answer the questions that Selena asked you?
Thank you for your question, Selena, Miss Selena Lin. Okay, the first question, my answer is our difference from competitors in Vietnam. So depend on our discovery, in Vietnamese the market, especially in the school system, our competitors rarely knows no one. So we can confidence on our product because we can integrate 3 functions in one kiosk. So in our market, there are lots of the company can supply the school system, but the function, for example, checking the body temperature, hand washing, and scanning frame is separate, not integrated in one product. Yeah, that is the first difference. And the second is our product is we use the AI via the camera. Yeah, via the camera for the scanning for scanning face. Okay, so the second question, your question is the
development.
Sorry, I will the idea for I will repeat the first question. Mainly the third one is real time. We for example the administrator and the parent can go anywhere. There are the Wi-Fi. They can follow information of the student after real time. Yeah. Okay. The second question is develop, right? Our develop in the future for this product, right? Okay, not only, yes. Yeah, development, not only for school system, but also for enterprises and community, and even in the hospital, we can apply this product to support for the managing operations of that organization, to save the money, save the time, yeah, to save the human resources. Yeah, and especially in the, I want to share to you the reason why this product were born is in the COVID periods. In the COVID periods, we cannot stop any activity in our life. So we need to work, and we keep our body healthy, and keep and prevent our health healthy from the COVID virus. So our staff develop this product to support and to support many organizations, not only in the school. Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions?
Can I have more?
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, so you combine between both hardware and software. So what about the felicity for your hardware? You produce totally in Vietnam, or you import a part, you know, like because sensor, right? And many things in combination. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
The hardware part, yeah.
Yeah. Câu hỏi là bây giờ cái software với lại cái hardware, là cái hardware là mình mua ở Việt Nam và mua ở nước ngoài luôn, đúng không? Cái software là mình tự viết. Chỉ Việt Nam thôi. Okay, thank you for your question. My answer is regarding to the hardware, we completely buy in Vietnam. Yeah, the software is our staff developed. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we'd like to just have more questions and maybe hear more about the tickle, but we don't have much time right now left. So hopefully we can actually just keep in touch. I think that, as I mentioned, all the speakers for today, presenters, if you actually send me the your presentation deck so that I can actually share them with the judges and investors that actually just participating in this XnTREE Open Tech Day. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your participation. Again, thank you very much for your presentation. So we have to come to an end of the second day of April XnTREE Open Tech Week. Can you actually close your presentation deck, please, on the screen?
Close, right?
Yeah, can you close it?
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so okay, so Selena, do you have any more comments? I can actually give you 1 minute to just wrap up for what you just felt about today's the participants.
It's wonderful to see a lot of product from Vietnam, especially like bicycle, electric bikes, made totally in Vietnam. But there are some considered as like the patent. You know, it's very important. Not only Vietnam, but Czechs from the team from electric bike. They focus on the Germany markets. So the patent very important. Even you don't have money, but like Kickstarter, you know, you can do reorder, right? And you may know the electric one from Alastair from Crystal Lake. They are fever 100% to make buy, and they crowdfunding to 20 mil before the buy in the markets. And another feedback for that buy, we would like to know more the marketing and business development and how much fund you want to build a manufacturing to grow in big scale. That different story. And for Tico, I already feedback there. And for most demo already, that is all my feedback for the startup. Thank you, guys.
Okay, I think Denise, are you there, or to just wrap up comments?
Yeah, no, I think the projects are very. I think actually some of them are quite impressive. That actually have quite big possibilities worldwide. I think it's more in the sense how you actually wrap up these projects and how we can actually empower them. I don't know right now how you're going to do, J1, to create more possibilities, but for instance, I think some of the projects are really very, very well established and they can actually have quite fast growth. So I think both in the context of the smart cities and the work that you're doing, but as well even as business independent that can actually, they are already doing very big steps. So I would suggest is one of the things that could be quite interesting that, as you know, Peter in UK worked very well was create a network to help this business and as well solutions around this. I would say that this is an interesting possibility that you can explore here. So aligning some of this business to have these possibilities makes a big difference here. So I think creating a bit like a level 49 Hanoi or a level 49 Vietnam, or even Southeast Asia, because I think one of the challenges that I've been finding, well, that's partly what you're doing, but it's more on the digital side with Open Business Council, is that most of the business, they grow through networks and through ecosystems. So this ecosystem is very important, but it's about as well a lot of the mentoring and the coordinations, because you can have a fantastic business, but if you don't have an ecosystem, it depends on your founders and the money and the cash flow and things like that. So that's some of the notes that I would suggest. And then I think one note that I think is interesting for me, because there's a couple of projects, like one for BUSMAP, 2 for bikes, and of course the last one for education, especially the ones about the bikes. This is a big thing that is touching a lot of cities around the world. So I think correlating some of these, even from a legislation's perspective, there are cities that are more open to this. For instance, I lived in Denmark and Sweden for 6 years. And first, they have a huge infrastructure for even just the way they put the cities, the corridors for cities. For instance, in London, there's a big disruption around all the city because the city is creating vias right now for the bikes. But these things are kind of cross-touching everyone in the world. So I think it's an interesting point that I think even for the World Smart Cities and for XnTREE is a great possibility, creating some legislation, guidelines, or even just putting, let's say, international guidelines for biking and for companies providing solutions for biking. This is a very basic stuff, but even on that, we can actually make a big difference. So simple things like this. So ecosystem and these, and I think congratulations to all the projects because it's really quite impressive. I think in general, I have a couple of notes, but I think this is my main notes right now.
Thank you very much for your comments, and it's lovely. So again, we have big support by the Department of International Trade of the UK government, European Technology Chamber, of course, including the Hoang Diem City Council and Hanoi City Government and TechFest. NSSC from Vietnam, Block 71 from Singapore and Ho Chi Minh City, Zitudium and Cities ABC from Denis Guelda, he just mentioned, and Yellow Blocks on Archive Labs in New York, and BigComX and Business Accelerator in Vietnam as well, and V-Startup. So these are all organizations supporting our XnTREE Open Tech Week, Open Tech Day. So we'll actually just meet up again. The next international tech competition will be taking place on 13th of May. So we'll be actually sharing this information throughout the social networks and also media. So we look forward to meeting you all again next month. Thank you very much. Then have a nice weekend and have a wonderful day. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Good evening in Saigon.
Thank you, and good weekend for everyone. Cheers. All the
Good
best.
day.
A nice weekend.
Yes.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Session today.
Thank you.